So we're going to be looking at organic modeling now. We're going to really just begin with a very simple character. I call him Boxman. What you'll see here is we're going to begin with a plan, which is just a 2D image like this that has a front view and a side view. And you'll notice that the arm, I've done two versions of it. One is actually connected to the character. This is how I want it to be, but also at a 90-degree angle, which is a little bit easier to just organize the modeling of it, and we'll connect it later. We're going to do the body head first, and then we're going to create the leg, the arm, and the antenna separately. Okay? What we'd have to do is separate the front view right here first, and you'll notice it's a perfect square, and also the side view, which is a perfect square. Before we begin, let's make sure that our settings for our working units, if it was, let's say, meters, this would be very hard for a character. If this character is 2 meters, then you only have 2 units here in the grid. So if it was centimeters, it would be a lot of units. Like if you're 2 meters tall, that's going to be 200 centimeters. That's a weird breakdown. So maybe for a character like this, that's human sized, maybe we'll just stick with, sorry, not inches, with feet, with the foot. And we say, okay. So a character that's 6 feet tall would be 6 units. Okay. Next, we're going to, and we can go to View, Import Image, and we go to Boxman Front, and you'll notice that this is way too small right here. Way too small. So I'm going to have to go to Image Plane Setup right here, and the width, I'm going to make it 10. I'm going to make it 6 because he's 6 feet tall by 6, and that means this needs to be, this is image center, which is right here, is XYZ. So I'm going to make this 3, but that's not exactly correct because I want his feet to be touching the ground. So I'm going to do something like 2.75, see if that works. 2.7, sorry, 2.8. There we go. Good. And then this is nice, but I want to push him back a little bit. So I'm going to push him back. Let's go 6. Well, we need to go -6 in Z space. This is Z space. I need to move him back to -6. Alright. And now I'm going to go to View, Image Plane for my side camera. Import Image, Boxman side. And again, it's too small. I want it 6 feet tall. And I need to move it. What was this one? 2.8. So I'm going to just do the same setting. 2.8. But because this is in the side view, I want to move it that way, which is -x. This is x. So -6. Okay, so you can see here I have my 2 characters, or my 1 character, side view, front view. And I'm going to use these 2 views right here as a guide for my modeling. So when I look at this, I can see that I have 1 cube-like shape and 1, 2, 3 cylinders. So I'm going to create a cube first. Create polygon cube, and I'm just going to bring it up like this. Now I'm going to wireframe on shaded and X-ray so I can see through it. And this cube is right in the center. And if I scale it up like this, what do I notice? That this drawing wasn't actually in the center. So I can do a few things. One, I could actually go back, fix it in the drawing program. One thing I probably don't want to do is I don't want to move my model over here, and we'll understand that later because I'm going to only model one side and I'm going to flip it over. So I'm going to grab this. What I think I would do is I'm going to grab my image plane. So you see here I've grabbed the image plane, and I'm just going to tap it over -2. Whoa, -0.2 is what I meant to do. Way too much. So 0.5. That's pretty close. 0.4. There we go. So now now this guy's centered. And I'll move this up. Scale it down a little bit. And you'll see that I'm going to need to round the edges, but I'm going to worry about that. I'm just going to get this shape correct, and then I go to my side view, and again I need to go into wireframe, X-ray, and you'll notice that this character also is not in the front. So let's move this character over a little bit. So this will be needed to move in the Z space, the positive Z space. So I'm going to 0.7. It's not too bad. Almost, maybe 0.075, 0.85. There we go. And there we go. Pretty darn close. There we go. And I'm looking at it from two different angles, and I can also check in 3D space. Next, I'm going to start adding in a little bit of geometry here. So I'm going to go with my multi-cut tool, press Control, and cut it straight down the middle. Alright, then I actually only want 1/2 of this because I'm going to flip it over. Grab my multi-cut tool again, and I want to round it right about here. Maybe add one right in the middle here. Let's do this one first. And I can just now grab this and rough this in. And it's going to be pretty close. If I press 3, it's a little bit smaller. And this looks pretty good too. Alright. I know I'm going to need a little bit more geometry in here. So I'm going to put another one right about here. And I want to kind of make these squares as equal as possible. So here, I think my mouse is a little sticky today. And there. So it's about even here. I need to add in some beveling in this side. So I'll go in here, put one here, one here, and one here. Mouse is definitely a little sticky today. Alright, so now I have this, but I want to bevel this in a bit. There we go. So I have there, and let's do the same thing here. Simple scale, where I'm going to pull it over, and then it's not straight, so I'll move it over here. There we go. And so now I've beveled that in. You see that I've kind of rounded this in a bit right here. I might even want to go a little bit further this way. Alright. There we go. Now you'll see that this is not very straight. I've got these kind of wavy lines. So I might actually want to go in here and fix that. So what I can do is I can do a small little trick in Maya. When I want to straighten these things out, I can just go to the scale tool and kind of just pull in the scale like this. Scale tool. Scale tool. Just pull that scale. Don't go all the way because you could reverse it. Just go up to about here. So you can see here if I go too far it goes in the other way. I just want to pull it close to that center, and that straightens everything out. And when I press 3 I have a really nice equally divided mesh. Alright, next. That's looking okay. Let's create a cylinder for the leg. We're just going to get the leg started. Let's do height divisions. Let's do 2 because I need the knee. And then let's go to axis divisions 8. Alright, and we're going to create this. And I'm going to scale this down, scale it up. Go to front view, pull it here. Something like this. There we go. It's about the length of that. And my knee is about where the knee should be. Alright. Now, I want to bend this knee. This drawing is a little bit wrong. We'll talk about this later, but when you're going to create a leg, you should put a small bend in the leg. Same thing with the arm. Where the bend is going to be, you should put a small, where the elbow is going to be, or the knee, you put a small bend in here. Alright. Next, with this leg, I can go to my multi-cut tool. I could cut here, and I'll cut here. Okay. And I can now go in here, kind of make that look nice. And if we look at this drawing, it kind of curves like this. It's a little bit pixely, but I want to add in right about here. And maybe scale it in a little bit. Scale this one out a little bit. There we go. And this is also supposed to be kind of thin, so I'm going to scale it a little bit. Oops. There we go. Move it back just a smidgen. Bit too much. Alright, so now this leg should have a little bit of volume. There we go. It's pretty flat, but alright. The other thing is I don't want to have such large, I want to make it kind of more, oh, let's go here. Wireframe on shaded. I want to, just like this is kind of evenly distributed, I want to evenly distribute this. Now I can kind of do this in an easier way. I can go to the Insert Edge Loop tool. Can click on, let's try 4, and this will add 4 subdivisions. 4 subdivisions. So now it's a little bit equal. So when I press 3, it looks a little nicer. Alright, let's look at the leg here. And I can maybe go to the faces here, select these faces, pull them out a little bit. I think I want to bring this part down about here, like that. And then I want these faces right here, these 4 faces, to extrude out this way. But maybe before that, let's go here and extrude and scale this out so it fits there. Okay. Alright, and modeling, extrude tool. Let's reset that. Let's pull it out to about there. Give it 3 divisions. And let's offset it a bit. Something like that. Alright, let's pull it down. Now let's just do a quick cleanup. I think I need to pull this down a little bit more. Okay. And I'm going to bring the toe down a bit. Bring this down. Bring this down. Bring this down. So it's looking pretty darn good. So press 3, and that's pretty close in shape. Let's look at it here, pretty good. And we got a nice foot right here. Actually, I just want to clean this up. No triangles. Let's make it pure quads. There, nice and beautiful. Quad. Now, this leg should be pretty good, but I want to move it down so I can do some work over here. Before I do that, I'm just going to go here, freeze transformation. What that does is right now I have all these values in my different translate and scale. I'm just going to freeze transformations, and what I can do is I can bring it down, and if I want to bring it back up again, I can just press 0. So I'm going to bring it down for now. And let's save this just to be safe, and I'm going to call it Boxman. Oops. 01. Okay. Now, next I'm going to delete these guys. I don't need them because I'm going to connect this. Okay. I'm going to connect this up to this thing. Alright. So let's actually get down and let's see what we can do about that. Let's bring this back up. 0, not 1. Maybe even need to bring it down just a smidgen. And I'm going to go here. And I want to move these edges just a little bit. Just a little bit like that. Okay. Maybe even this edge just a smidgen. Right there. Okay. Now I'm going to grab these two, and I need to match the topology of this to the topology of my cylinder. So I'm going to press Modeling Toolkit, Extrude, fix that, reset it, and I'm going to try to get this to be about the same size as this right here. So that's good. And you'll see that I have pretty good connection. But what am I missing? I'm missing a line down the center here to match with this line, because this has 6 sides. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So I need to add in one more line right there. Alright, so now when I can connect this thing to there. Actually, I might just want to punch a hole in here first because I'm not going to need it. Okay, delete. Alright, and now I'm going to connect this geometry to this geometry. Now I'm holding down the V button, and you'll see what happens is it turns on the snap to point. So V, and I grab this and I pull it over. Grab it, pull it over. Grab it, and pull it over. So this is very simple organic modeling that's taking advantage of the shapes that already come as primitives in the Maya default. So now this and the leg have equal topology. So I can go here, model, model. There, they should be equal, and I can combine these together. Now combining it to, oops, I need to be in object mode for both. Combine. Now combining it together does not necessarily mean that they are actually merged as one. If I press 3, this sharp line is not correct, because if you look here, they're not actually together. So I'm going to select those vertices on both sides, and if you can see here that I have 16 vertices. That's 8 each, right? 8 for this body, 8 for the leg. And those, because these are doubled up, there's 2 vertices right here. So I need to merge them together, merge components. So 16, you'll see here, 16 is going to turn into 8 because they're merged together. When I press 3, it's going to be a smoother connection, whereas before that was quite sharp. And that's going to help a lot when you're doing animation and painting skin weights. Alright, so now we got the leg done, so that's looking good. So let's do the arm. So the arm's going to come out this way, but again, we're going to start off with the cylinder. And I'm going to just work in the 90-degree space. It's just a little bit easier. Okay. Oh, well, the easiest way is just give it a perfect 90. There we go. Let's scale it, something like this. Alright. And again, I'm going to want to bend this just a smidgen. I'm going to want to bend it at the elbow just a little bit, and I'm going to want to I'm going to try to get this curve to look like more of an arm with a little bit more shape into it. So first, let's go to vertex, maybe from top view, and let's just give it a small little bend. Later on, we'll realize why we need to do that. Okay. Next, I'm going to go to my multi-cut tool, and I'll go here, add one here, maybe add one here, and here. Okay, something like that. And we can kind of scale this a bit. I want to add in one more here. Scale it up a bit. Something like that. Okay. Scale this down a smidgen. Scale this down a bit. Alright. So, if I press 3, it's kind of got a nice shape to it. Alright, it's looking good. Next, we need to have this weird looking finger thingies. So I'm going to start off with, this time, a polygon sphere, and I'm just going to attach it. And subdivision axis 8, height, I'm going to bring it down to 3. Actually, let's make it 4. There we go. Good. And I do not need these faces right here, because I'm going to attach this to the thumb up there. It's way too big, so scale it down, bring it over. I can press V, snap to point. Go here. Make it about the same size. I can actually duplicate it, rotate it, -90, bring it about here, and duplicate it 180. Bring it down straight like this. Alright, so now I want to connect all of these. Okay. One thing, let's go in here and let's get rid of the triangles. I should have done this before. Get rid of the triangles. Get rid of the triangles so it's got just quad. Okay, that's looking good. Bring this back. Alright, so let's move this one over. Again, get rid of the triangles. And let's extrude this one out a bit. Something like this. I might need to move this up just a smidgen. Move this down a smidgen. Move this over a bit. Okay. Alright. Now, again, I'm going to need to connect these two. So I'm going to need to add in another line right down the middle so the topology matches. And I'm going to grab this guy right here. Oops, let's move him up a bit. Let's look at our. Alright, let's pull it up a bit. Okay, let's get this as close as possible to the original. Alright, this one. So these are probably too big, but we can scale them down just a smidgen. Scale them from here. Okay, something like that. Move this over there, it's looking better. Okay, save. Okay, so similar to the leg, we need to connect these two. So I'm going to grab this, I'm going to extrude, and in this case I just need to offset it. Okay, I'm going to delete that, and do the same thing here. Okay, so let's move this one over just a smidgen, like so. Alright, let's align the vertices again. Again, I'm pressing V, which does this thing right here. Okay, so now those are aligned. Line these. Let's move this over just a smidgen. this, align this. So you see this is actually quite a lot of work, right? And that's why we want to do just one side and flip it over once we get it done. So now I want to make this a little smaller. And looks like I could move it up just a smidgen. And let's align this one at a time. You see it's such a small... There we go. Okay. So let's combine these all. And if we press 3, it's still not correct. So I need to grab the vertices. I have a feeling though, let's go to shading, X-ray. I didn't delete this, the faces inside. So I need to delete these faces inside the arm. Alright. I could tell that because when I pressed 3, it was deforming in a way that I didn't want it to. So turn off X-ray. Now the deformations are better. Go like this. Again, let's look at it's 70 because I selected all, but you'll notice that when I merge components, quite a few of them have merged together, and now you can see the difference between this and this. Okay, let's redo polymerge. It's got a nice smoothing going on. Perfect topology. It's looking pretty darn good. Again, I want to get rid of faces I don't need. Alright. Actually, before I do that, let's just do something. Okay, now I have my point right here because I want to move that. That's my pivot point. I'm going to move it all the way up here. Maybe. I'm pressing D to move it to pivot point, V to snap to grid. Alright, so that puts me right where I want it. Again, now I'm going to delete these guys. Okay, and I'm going to want to push this so that it's connected right there, because that's where it comes out of, right? Looks good. And I can just rotate this into place. Alright. Maybe I need to scale just a smidgen. Rotate it again. There we go. Not bad. Alright, it's got a little bend in the arm. Now we need to connect the arm here. Now again, what did I do here? I grabbed these 4 faces, extrude, offset, and get it as close as possible to that size right there. So this maintains nice topology and gets me pretty darn close. And what am I going to do? Oops, I can delete these. And snap to point. Snap to point. There we go. Press 3. That's going to look pretty good. And what do? I grab the 2 objects, merge or combine them together, Again, what do I have to do? You'll see here, it's not, those vertices need to be merged. Press 3, and I get a nice smoothing going on. So this guy's getting pretty close to being done. Last thing I need to do is the antenna and the eye in the head. So let's just save this